Hello! Today's lunch is going to be a super simple, what I call a Mexican rice bowl. I'm just going to cook some rice. I like to do it in my microwave. Standard ratios, 1 cup rice, 2 cups water. It takes about 18-19 minutes in the microwave, and then I cover it when it's done. Just let it steam for a little bit. I'm going to top it with just some canned pinto beans. These are really good. These are plain ones. I'll probably season them a little bit with some taco seasoning. I may also add some salsa and possibly some sour cream. Haven't decided yet. So let's get this thing going. You know, I keep my rice in this big gallon thing here. I'm almost out. I'm trying to use it up before I put new in there. That's one of my pet peeves about putting things into other containers. On a lot of channels that you watch, they'll decant all their stuff into all these beautiful containers, but then you watch them fill them up. There's always a little bit left, and they just put the new stuff right on top. And to me, that's kind of gross, because that stuff on the bottom, you know, it's going to sit there forever. And if they continue in that same pattern, it's just going to expire. All right, so there's my 1 cup rice, 2 cups water. I'm just going to go ahead and microwave that. I'll show you the whole thing when it's done, when I put the plate together. Since this is a smaller amount of rice, I think I'll do it for about 18 minutes. It's quick and easy. I always had wanted a rice cooker, but I never got one. I just do it in the microwave. On the stove's fine too. I just tend to burn it when I do it in the microwave. It cooks up just fine and I never burn it. Let's go ahead and construct my little Mexican rice bowl. The rice is done, so I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna put what's equivalent to not quite a cup of rice in there. I'm gonna divide my plate in half. I don't do McDougall's starch solution, half and half plate, 50-50 plate, although this is going to look like that. But, you know, this is just how I eat. I do eat meat. I eat all the things. I don't discriminate against anything. I'm on no special diet. I just try to watch what I'm eating right now because of my diet restrictions and some of my GERD issues. So this is basically going to be a fat-free lunch because fat's hard to digest with GERD. So I'm going to divide that about in half. That is going to end up, that looks about like a cup to me of rice. I'm also going to add a little lettuce. I got this other half here. I don't have much left. I'm just going to break up a little bit and add some for some greens. I don't have any tomatoes or anything left. It's kind of toward the end of the week. So my rations on my fresh stuff is getting a little low, but that's okay. This meal doesn't necessarily have to have this. It's going to end up being like a taco salad because I just mix it all together when I eat it. I'm going to go ahead and use my canned pinto beans. I have no problems whatsoever. I'm not sure which videos have posted yet, if I've talked about this, about eating food from a can. You know, I have no diet restrictions right now as to sodium and things like that. And I put salt in my own stuff anyway. I mean, you're free to cook however you want. I'm going to drain a little bit of this juice out of here. There's a little too much in there. Let's drain some of that out. Hi, I don't know if you can see me way over here. I don't think you can. Just draining that out. All right, I'm going to take some of the pintos and just put them in the next area that's empty there. I mean, this is just to make it pretty for myself and so I can see how much I'm putting. I'd say that's about half a can. That looks like honestly, about half a cup. So that worked out pretty good. I got a few cucumbers left, and just to try to use them up, I'm just gonna, you know, lay a few over here. They'll be good with the salad part of this. You could put ranch dressing and all that because that tastes good with Mexican, but I think I'm gonna use sour cream today. Okay, what's next? It's looking pretty yummy. I'm torn between, I got these packets from Taco Bell. We do eat out also. I have no opposition to eating fast food occasionally. Don't do it all the time. I just have to be careful what I order on the menu. I got just a little bit of paste left. I think I'm going to use some of that as my seasoning. I'm going to put a little on the rice. There, maybe just a little on the lettuce. Like I said, I'm going to mix it all together. I'm just making it pretty for fun. I didn't season the rice, so I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle a little salt. I just cooked it with just plain water. I'm going to season the cucumbers. I do like salt on my cucumbers. And I'm not going to worry about the beans. They're probably salty enough. I'm also going to take just some cumin. I thought I had a packet of taco seasoning. I do not at this time, but I have cumin. That's one of the components in there, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that on there. That'll help swing it toward a more Mexican flavor. So does the salsa, honestly. I am going to put that on the beans because those are unseasoned. Those beans just have beans, salt, and water. That's all they are. A little bit on the salad. Okay, that looks good. And as a final, I'm just going to top it with some sour cream. Not a lot. I mean, sour cream's okay. I don't have any aversions to dairy. If you're allergic to dairy, don't use it. You could also use ranch dressing. There it is. All right, I'm going to sit down and chat with you a little bit about a book I'm reading and just something that I might talk about life hours a little bit. You heard me mention that in the intro while I was setting this up, but let's get down and get my face on camera and show you. Here's the meal all plated up and looking delicious. Like I said, I'll probably just mingle that all together while I'm eating it, make it like a taco salad. Just have my water. I do have I take some supplements. I'm not telling you what to take. I'm not a doctor. What's in here is just very basic. I take a multivitamin. That's kind of the beige one. I take a probiotic to help with my gut issues. I do take a little bit of vitamin D, more in the winter than in the summer when I'm not outside. Even though it's not winter yet, I'm starting to take it. And this one over here, this is just oregano oil. I just use, it's kind of like an antibiotic. I'm using it to heal, which is healing. I don't know if it'll be blurry or not. My little finger from my cat bite, there's the top, and on the bottom there you can tell it's kind of bruised. That's where the tooth went in, and she snapped it pretty good, but it's healing. It's doing great. The oregano oil kind of acts as an antibiotic and helps that heal. I did bring out my sauce just in case it's dry, when I mingle it all up. Here's current reading. I'll just do this first, but then I'll talk about the life hour stuff. This is a gal named Marjorie Holmes. She's from the 70s. She has some other books. Who Am I, God? Marjorie Holmes, I've Got to Talk to Somebody, God. She's a Christian author from the 70s. These books are really fun. They're just like little prayers, each one is in a little segment. She just, talks about her life, little things. There's some nice drawings. But I didn't know for the longest time, I didn't know she was a fiction writer. Here she is. She has 3 fiction books. I started the first one. This is called Two from Galilee. Obviously, it's fiction work based on Mary and Joseph and the story of the Bible. That's what this one's about. The second book is called 3 from Galilee. It's after the birth of Jesus and his early years. And then the last and final in this series is called The Messiah. I only have this one. I just started it recently, a couple days ago. I'm almost finished with it. It's really cute and sweet. It's about their little love story. Of course, the parts of it that can be based on the Bible and what it says are based on the Bible, like when the Holy Spirit came and, she conceived the Lord. But the rest of it obviously is a work of fiction. We don't know everything they said and did, but her writing, it's very sweet. There's nothing vulgar or over the top or R in it. It's very sweet. If you're interested in that cute little love story about Mary and Joseph, and I'm interested to read the rest of them, so those are really good. Just a good book recommendation. All right, well, let's sit down and chat just a little bit. I want to talk about life hours just briefly and what that means to me. Let me have a seat here as I get situated. I mentioned it in the beginning of this video about life hours. You saw the rice. My rice is really the only item that I put rice nuts, sometimes brown sugar. There's very few things that I decant into additional containers. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if you want to do that. But for me, it's about my life hours. I'm 52. About a decade ago, I started to assess how I was spending my life hours. Obviously, we all get so many hours on this planet, and that's it. We don't know how much. I believe God, knows our appointed time to be off the planet. But, there came a point in my midlife. I never had a midlife crisis. You hear about that or anything like that. But I just sat back and analyzed. My kids were growing up. I was doing a lot of things, a lot of busyness, which is what happens when you have a large family. We had 4 children. So you get busy, but then you kind of want to slow down a little bit intentionally. That's something that's trending out on the internet right now, being very intentional. And there's truth to that. But from my perspective, it's about accounting for your life hours, the time that you're putting into things. And the rice decanting thing is kind of an example. I understand aesthetics and wanting your pantry or your closet or things to look beautiful, but there's a price you pay for that, not only in physical items. I mean, you have to buy all the things, all the containers, all the glass jars with wooden lids, all those things you see on the internet. And if you're a young mom, you may feel like, oh, my pantry's not good enough. I open it up and all I see is all this box stuff. But I actually store my stuff in the box stuff. Things like rice, I don't, because it comes in a bag and bags are unruly. And yeah, I've spilt a rice bag before, not being careful with it, and dry rice everywhere. And so that's a hassle. So I do put that in an old pickle jar because that's convenient. But I don't decant everything because that takes a lot of life hours. I mean, you go to the store and that's time enough as it is. And then if you have to come home and take an additional hour to unbox everything and put it in the new containers, that's a lot of time each week. I mean, there's 52 weeks in a year. If it takes you, say half hour, an hour to do that, that's a lot of life hours that you're putting into that endeavor. And it can be that way with a lot of things in your life. If you're struggling and feeling like you never have time, let some of that stuff go. Find better, faster, easier ways to do things. You don't have to complicate things. Start thinking about those life hours being precious. When you get old, will you be okay with the fact that you spent thousands of life hours unboxing or decanting your items into little jars? Did that really bring you the joy and the value that you thought it would? Or would you rather have spent that time in a different endeavor, maybe doing something fun with your kids or your grandkids or something else, reading good edifying books, working on your character. So it's just something that crosses my mind. I think I've talked about it in some of my older videos. It is kind of, you can assess it with everything you do. Your cleaning, your schedules, your lists, all these things you feel compelled to do. How much of them are necessary and not, if there are necessary things like, look, we all have to clean. We understand that. We have to keep our home in a nice fashion that's cleanly and hygienic. We all understand that. But the modality you choose to do that can be really important. Christ isn't calling us to perfection. He never does. So there is such a concept as clean enough, and how you get there is very unique and individual. So don't watch all of these hyper cleaning channels that, just scrub to the nth degree, like toothpicks to pick out the stuff, little toothbrushes to do all this stuff. You don't necessarily have to do that all the time. That takes a lot of time to do that. And a lot of those people have help behind the scenes. They may show you heavy cleaning and stuff, but they may also have house cleaners come in once or twice a month to do the deep cleaning. If they have children, they may have a spouse or a grandmother or even hired help helping them with the children so they can show all this cleaning on their YouTube channel. So just be careful with some of that stuff. I think it can lead you down a slippery slope of being into bondage to all these schedules, all these cleaning rituals, all these kind of things that, in my opinion, can become almost like an idol in your life. We all have houses, we all have homes. We're thankful to the Lord for those blessings. And yes, we are called to be good stewards, but we're not called to be perfectionists with our stewardship and to spend our entire life hours dedicated to a house and a home. It's the people within it that matter. And I'm telling you, when your kids are young, maybe I'm speaking more to the young moms here, but maybe even people my age, the state of your home doesn't matter as much as the state of your family, how your children are perceiving you, especially if they're young. They're not going to remember how clean the floors were. They're not going to remember if their clothes were perfectly folded into these tidy little neat Marie Kondo squares. None of that stuff really matters. What's on my heart today is just feeling like, gosh, that's bondage, people. Jesus came to set captives free, and sometimes we need to be set free from all these rigid schedules and cleaning lists and all these kind of things that, yes, we need clean homes. And I'm not saying we don't need clean homes, but you don't need to spend hours and hours doing it. You don't need to compare yourself to people on the internet who are doing that for their job. It is your job. It is our jobs to keep our houses and stuff. But I'm telling you, you don't have to do that kind of stuff. So maybe pray about it. Ask God to show you the areas where maybe you're unbalanced. You're putting way too much time in over here, maybe not enough time over here. Ask Him to show you or bring to your attention channels or people who do these things efficiently, quickly. It's an endeavor that is a good endeavor to keep your home clean and your family with good food and stuff. But just be careful that you're not turning it into some form of an idol, which means you're basically worried about that kind of stuff more than you're worried about your family or your spiritual growth or your time with God. I'm just telling you, that kind of stuff isn't as important as social media makes it seem. So I hope that helps someone today and blesses someone today, and maybe helps you go down the path of learning to let go of some of that stuff and to find some peace if you're struggling in that area. All right, well, I'm going to eat my delicious, taco Mexican type salad thing. Hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.